they both look like they could go for about 6 for 152 today.
Yeah. They're still in good shape. And that's bobbled out of bounds. Well, this is going to be a disastrous start. Jalen Moore going to back Columbus up inside their own 5-yard line to begin.
I mean, he's trying to go back here like Willie May style over his shoulder and just bobbles it out of bounds. That is not the way they wanted to start. I thought it was smart for them to take the kick, Kurt, because this is a rushing attack that can chew up clock. There's no doubt about that. Now Jalen McClendon on the field, backed up. He's your quarterback. Last week, he was very good against Houston. 20 of 26 for 187, a touchdown, no interceptions. He is leading the lead in completion percentage, but make no mistake about it. This Columbus team is about running the football, and establishing the run is going to be very difficult against this defense. This is the #1 rushing defense in the UFL.
And they're starting at their 4-yard line on the first play from scrimmage. And they hand it off. First carry by John Lovett. Lowers his shoulder, picks up 7 yards on the run. This we keep an eye on when Columbus has the ball.
Yeah, both of these backs, Lovett and White, you know, they're very good. Toatawa is going to be in there as well, the third back. And then defensively, this is the best defense in the league, anchored by Pita Tamuapenu and Travis Feeney. But it's really about their blueprint. I talked about their great rushing defense. They're also great rushing the quarterback. If they can stop you on 1st and 2nd down, get you into obvious passing situations, that's when they're at their best.
The St. Louis defense, #1 overall in the league. Second play from scrimmage, second carry by Lovett, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage.
It is strength against strength here today. #1 rushing attack in the league. Columbus running it for just over 140 yards per game, and this St. Louis defense, they have been stout. And Kurt, I've been excited. I haven't been able to cover, you know, the St. Louis team yet this year, and finally getting a chance to see this defense live and in person, watch them fly around, and their speed, in particular in the front 7, is always what's impressed me.
And now they'll get a chance to rush that front 7. Love it again. Gets it through and more into the open field. John Lovett with a big run on 3rd and 3, just what the doctor ordered for Columbus, as they get the first down on a nice run of 33 yards.
Yeah, this is a beautiful job by the left side of this offensive line, as well as the tight end, Gunnar Oaks. Look at Gunnar Oaks, the tight end, just locking up Travis Feeney right there. That big 84 Gunnar Oaks, that was a beautiful block on the edge. Lovett finds the seam, and he gets upfield, and that's exactly what Todd Haley, their offensive coordinator and play caller, wanted to see after being backed up after that fumbled kickoff.
Longest run of the year for Lovett. Just shy of the 45. And they go back to the well. Lovett. That play blown up by Travis Feeney.
There's Todd Haley. Really leaned into this run game. Found a recipe for success with this offense. They're throwing the ball far too often early in the season. Led to 3 straight losses. They've won 2 of their last 3, and in those 2 wins, Kurt, they have leaned heavily into running the football, including against Dallas. They had an 18-play, 97-yard drive. They ran the ball 17 times on that drive.
4 plays, 4 runs. They line up Ryan Nelson, the tackle in the backfield. Zaquandre White goes the other way, and that's sniffed out quickly. Pita Domapenu,
that's it,
makes the tackle.
Yeah, he's really good on the edge.
One of the best in the league. I should know his name by now.
He and Travis Feeney anchor those edges, and this is exactly where they thrive. This St. Louis team last week, when they were playing Louisville, they had 6 sacks, 9 tackles for loss. We see a couple of tackles behind the line of scrimmage here on 1st and 2nd down, and now the first obvious passing situation of the game.
Clinton gets it off, hands it off. White spinning, and he's going to be stopped well short of the first down. And so the big run gave him a little bit of room, but not a successful opening drive for Columbus.
No, but just short of that 50-yard line. That's big, obviously. If you're just joining us this year in the UFL, there's been some really fun rule changes. I think the most impactful is once you cross the 50-yard line, you cannot punt. Now, that's still afford you a punt inside of 2 minutes of each half, but you're just short of the 50, and Robbins will be on to kick it away.
And Brad Robbins, the leading punter in the league. Plenty of room for that booming leg. caught right up the middle. And going to be a great start. Sean Fresh, the leading punt returner in the league, showing why. And so St. Louis will have good field position, and Luis Perez's first snap.
They've really struggled with the interception. You saw their great defense. If you got a great defense, all you got to do is not turn the football over. You're going to win a lot of football games, and so that's why he's standing back there as the quarterback right now.
With no one in the backfield with it.
Turbo, ready to go.
Movement on the line. Everybody excited to have him in there, I guess, huh?
61. Yeah.
False start, office number 61, 5-yard penalty, it's first down.
You know, Panish at the center.
Yeah, and Brock, I would just say, I think one of the most difficult parts of all these rotating quarterbacks is actually the cadence. You know, for the offensive lineman, it's a different cadence for all these guys.
Question about it. It was fun watching in warm-ups too, Joel, just trying to get comfortable with his teammates. That trust that you build. He's been here only a couple weeks, no training camp. It's going to be fun to watch unfold.
Ready to go. Hut.
First play from scrimmage. Perez. Flag down on the play as he throws that one out, intended for Howard. Let's see what the marker's for.
Well, there was a lot of contact in the secondary. It looked like they were holding Akeem Butler.
Yeah. Hey, did you?
Holding, defense number 9, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, this is going to be a matchup that I'm excited to watch. This is Cam Smith, the corner. Now, he was out last week with a shin injury. He's one of the top corners in the league, but right here, as Butler shocks the spin weight, just grabs him by the waist right there.
I think that one's easy to call, huh?
All the flags came out there.
Ready to go.
So they get a first down on the hold.
Hut.
Jarvie and Howard. Howard into Columbus territory, balls out. And it's scooped up by Blake Jackson, who advances it inside the 20. That's one way to move the football.
Oh, that bounce. Howard with a beautiful run right here, but a good strip. There's a little punch, and they strip it out. It was coming loose before he was down. That is a live ball. And then how about the bounce right here? Always got to be hustling, trying to get a block downfield. You can see Jackson scoops it up and picks up more. Howard has been very good for them running the football. He's one of the leading rushers. He is the leading rusher in the UFL. And that's something they can lean on. Even with their big play receiver, Akeem Butler, on the outside, they've been able to run the ball really efficiently.
And some confusion as they try to get lined up after
Timeout, St. Louis. It's the first of the half.
As the play clock was winding all the way down, you can see Luis is saying, hey, they didn't reset the clock, but they did. And so St. Louis forced to use that timeout.
Yeah, and if we take a look at our players to watch when St. Louis has the ball, you take a look at this offense, and we've already seen Jarvion Howard, and this is one of the better backs in the league, and he can really run it. And Akeem Butler on the outside, he is a big play threat. He's averaging 25 yards per catch. So what do you have to do to combat that? Well, you got to get after the run game. That's going to be Ron Stone up front in the front 7, and then find a matchup in the secondary, and that's going to be Cam Smith. We already saw him with the one hold, gave him a free first down. That's a matchup that we'll be seeing and watching all night long.
Next play.
A.J. Smith, the offensive coordinator, lots of weapons. You're talking about Howard, #1 rusher. Butler, #2 receiver as far as yards in the league. This defense, #1 overall. You see why they have the 4-2 record, yet still forced to make a change at quarterback to try to be more efficient.
The only thing they've struggled with is turn the football over at the quarterback position. Here you go, a little wildcat action.
And they wind up keeping the ball, pops out yet again. This time it was Gary Jennings, the wide receiver, trying to come around on the end around. Kedrick Whitehead
Regular blue.
A.J. Smith going a little creativity here with Gary Jennings there.
Here we go. Hey, strong right, Denver punch out, X crack. Strong right, Denver punch out, X crack. Hey, Denver punch out, X crack. I'm ready. Denver punch out. Hurry up.
So to give him 6 yards on the run.
Ready to go. Hut.
Perez brings it down and just overthrows the tight end, Tyler Neville.
Okay.
Sorry. Left hash.
Okay. No, we're good. Send, bunch left nasty. Wide magic orbit, flip 651, fence the Z. Rub for the back. 651. Send, bunch nasty. Get on. For the running back. Rub forward the running back. There's number 1. Ready to go.
More shifting by St. Louis. Howard out of the backfield. Can he get the first down? He dives. And they're going to mark it right there at the first down marker. And they got it by that much.
What a move right there at the sideline. He gave a little bit of a pause, a hesitation, and then he just dives forward, keeps himself up before that left quad hit the sideline.
So it'll be first and goal. They snap it quickly. Howard escapes inside the 5. Knocking on the door of St. Louis right now.
Kenny Willikis was the defensive end. He was unblocked right there on that give. Had a chance for a tackle for loss, but
Denver punch.
you could see he was able to just slip out of it. And Ricky Prohl has got to be pleased with the way this offensive series has gone here. The first for Luis Perez.
Turbo. Ready to go.
Kylin James now in at running back. Keeps on fighting. Going to be stopped 2 yards short of the goal line.
Well, now it's just a function of do you have a fourth down here? And Brock, if I've got a fourth down call, I probably try to go to Akeem Butler on third down.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, and ball has a way of working itself out like this. Chatting with AJ before the game, this was the situation he pointed to. He said not only the turnovers, but our red zone execution, as you said, Kurt, they're going to get into some wildcat here.
Yeah, Blake Jackson, the former college quarterback, now in the wide receiver, and he keeps it into the end zone, but the ball didn't make it. Stopped just before he got there by Smoke Monday.
I mean, what a
Fourth
stop
down.
right here. They go a little zone read, and you can see it looks like he's just going to dive right into the end zone, and he is just stopped in his tracks by Smoke Monday. He was signed after week 1, and he's come in and he's played very well in the secondary for this Columbus team. Great stop.
Nike. Let's go. Turbo.
What a tackle. So here it is, 4th and goal inside the 1.
Ready to go.
On the keeper. Perez. They call it a touchdown. St. Louis. Luis Perez takes over at quarterback. Doesn't complete a pass in his first series, but scores the touchdown.
Well, I tell you, you go with a little kind of pseudo-wildcat backup quarterback, and then the quarterback sneak. I've never seen Brock a quarterback sneak with his helmet above the pile like that.
Well, don't you think some of that is because there's no tush push?
Yeah.
Right? I think we get so accustomed watching certainly college and NFL. Oh, this is going to be the tush push. That is not allowed in the league. And there's a little savvy move from Luis, albeit unorthodox, to find the end zone.
Maybe they don't need to pass. Nice, effective drive to open up the series. And Ahmed gets the extra point. St. Louis takes it over, marches down the field. Luis Perez, welcome back to spring football. It's 7-0 BattleHawks.
Stadium. It's too bad there's not an NFL team in here, but it is what it is, and the kids are playing good football.
So I think it was, what, about 1999 down in that end zone, the head coach of this BattleHawks team. Do you remember the play?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't really a true play call. The touchdown was an adjustment off a safety blitz. And Kurt Warner and Ricky Prohl read it properly as coached by Mike Martz and Al Saunders and Jim Hannaford. They executed it beautifully. And, of course, Ricky made an unbelievable catch.
And what are the numbers? You'll be 90 in the fall.
Yeah,
married 70 years. How many kids, grandkids, great-grandkids?
We have 11 grandkids and 5 great-grandchildren, yeah. They're all football fans.
How cool is that, Coach? Just an honor.
Thank you. My honor.
Thanks for being here tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you, Bob.
Not only a special coach, one of the greatest people you've ever met. If you've ever been around Dick Field, you know it. And he can be emotional. He was known as a crier back in the day because he cared.
Man, that was some of the greatest football that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, what they did offensively. We've never seen anything like that. You know, Marshall Falk and, you know, Azakim on the outside. I mean, they were just so good throwing the football.
Toatawa on the carry. And really, I wouldn't say it changed football, but it modernized it.
Yeah, for
Teams
sure.
tried to copy that, and it accelerated the game into a version that we have today.
Well, and I know it's been, 20, 25 years, but you look at the NFL now, and the running back position has morphed into find a Marshall Faulk. Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think the reason Jeremiah Love was just selected 3rd overall to the Arizona Cardinals is because of that metamorphosis of not just a traditional running back, but a guy that can hurt you out of the backfield catching the ball.
We're special. Tala lowering his shoulder and knocked out of bounds right at the 25-yard line. Bring up 3rd down.
McClendon is a guy that does not throw the football down the field all that often. They want to churn the yards on the ground.
Black twist F wheel. Another one, ready?
The guy that they look to is Tay Martin, number 81, and he normally lines up in the slot. He's going to be
Shifting into the slot right now.
I was going to say lined up in the backfield, but now he's sitting there right in the slot.
McClendon looking that way. Throws it underneath, pass caught, but right away, Danny Lyson makes the stop. And Kiki Chisholm won't get the first down.
McClendon wants him to go for it.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows where he's at on the field right now. You can't go for this right now. So here's the concept. You're trying to get Tay Martin out on the left side. That's where he wants to go first. And then come back to that drag route. That's Kiki Chisholm, but it's zone defense. And he'd never settled down. He just ran himself into that far side defender and kind of covered himself up. If you're on that drag route or something coming across the middle and you got zone defense, you got to settle down in that vacant area. If he was able to do that, he probably could have turned upfield and gotten the first down.
So Brad Robbins on the punt for the 2nd time in 2 possessions. High booming kick. Fresh. And Sean Fresh out to about the 30-yard line. And so St. Louis will get another crack at it, already having scored on the opening time in the history of the National Football League. Dick Vermeil and that team being honored tonight.
Play, he's got pretty dialed in.
Perez lost that one up. Kind of mistimed it with Hakeem Butler.
This is one of those timing things and I would say familiarity things that he's going to have to learn. Hakeem Butler, you just put that ball up right to the top of his helmet. Hakeem Butler is a really large player on the outside. I mean, he's 6'5".
Right. Boston Stare. Dusty, 15 seconds. Gotta go.
Hey, Boston Stare. I want ready. Hey, over there.
And that's
Dusty.
another unique
Block.
element right there,
Boston
Kurt
Stare.
and Joel, is AJ's mic is open all the way to the snap.
Yeah.
NFL, it cuts off at 15 seconds. Not in this league.
Ready to go.
They get it off. Hand it off. Jarvie and Howard stopped in the backfield. Nowhere to run. Right away was tackled by Tony Fields.
This has got to be just a missed assignment up front because he's just going to knife right into the interior of this offensive line. Nobody there. And he's able to get that tackle made behind the line of scrimmage. Jarvion Howard has run really tough so far today. He's a big back. He's 222 pounds, and that was a nice tackle right there.
Fields the leading tackler in the UFL this season, so you should know where he is. Here's Perez on 3rd down, going deep over the middle. Got Butler, who makes the catch despite having Cam Smith all over him. That big body showing off. 45 yards on the catch.
Well, that's the guy you got to go to down the field. And again, he's averaging 25 yards a catch. He's so imposing physically, and this is severely underthrown, and he's able to just adjust on that ball. And Cam Smith can't make the play. Even made a lot of contact before that ball arrived, and Butler was able to concentrate through that contact and make the catch.
Maybe the most physically imposing receiver in the UFL. Tried to go to him again. A little hand fighting there this time. Cam Smith on the coverage, and it falls incomplete.
And that certainly should have been called. Here's the matchup on the outside. And again, Cam Smith out last week, but look at all that contact, and he hinders him from getting back to the ball. He's got that left arm around him. I thought certainly there would be a flag out, and it didn't come out. You can see Hakeem Butler is frustrated over on the sideline.
You wonder sometimes if size doesn't work to your disadvantage, where officials leave the little guy maybe a little bit more room to get physical with him.
Turbo! Ready to go.
A No play clock issue again.
Timeout, St. Louis. It's their second of the half.
Both their timeouts have had to be used because of
But we got to speed
the
it
play
up.
clock winding down. But you expect that sometimes you got a first-time quarterback in the system.
If I feel like I don't know, I can't get it off, I'll call it. I don't know if you hear it.
Kansas touchdown.
I was thinking you.
I thought I heard you. They're playing man, bro.
They kind of like, I'm hearing two.
All right, do you want to go smoke stick or Kentucky mesh?
Smoke stick.
Okay. So, but let's get a good zoom. Okay. What ball? Has to win.
Ball's middle. You want to go to the right? Let's go to the right. Hey, to get Keem on the fluff here.
He's out.
What's the play?
Yeah. It's the same play. Zoom the tray right. Hey, win on that slot fade, baby. Yeah. Stick. Smoke stick. Smoke stick. Yeah. Same play.
Hey, we got Boston Stare. We got the smoke stick. All one, ready?
Well, you wonder why Butler's out. You heard Perez saying he wanted to go to him. And A.J. Smith said he's out. And Hakeem Butler, their best receiver, standing on the sideline here.
Ready to go.
Keep an eye on that.
On Hunt.
Lost it up towards the end zone, and it's caught. Stephen McBride, touchdown, BattleHawks.
They got the exact coverage that they were hoping for, man-to-man, and you got that slot fade. You heard A.J. Smith talk about the slot fade. Token fake in the backfield, and then this ball's just got to be high into the outside. That's a beautiful throw from Luis Perez. McBride can just run right underneath it, beats the coverage, good release, and he's able to catch it in the end zone for a touchdown.
McBride scoring in back-to-back weeks, 14 yards on that score. And St. Louis lining up to go up by 14. What a start this has been for this offense. And Ramiz Ahmed puts it through. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for the BattleHawks. Luis Perez in his first start ran for a score, and now he's thrown for 1. St. Louis rolling out the gate, up by 2 touchdowns, making a sideline jump for Joe.
What you're trying to do is raise your floor. And hey, hopefully the ceiling of your offense also goes up, but you're trying to raise your floor, minimize the mistakes, in particular those interceptions. They had thrown 9 interceptions so far this year, 10 turnovers total. That was really the only weak part of this team.
And we should point out, Perez started the year as the backup in Dallas as that goes out of bounds. He started as the backup, was traded here just 3 weeks ago, and now in the starting lineup and talking with Brock Hewitt about it.
Well, Luis, you told us this week on our call that virtual reality was a part of your preparation. Is it paying dividends as you look at the tape?
Yeah, no, I was able to take a lot of reps. Obviously, I only had 3 practices this week. But yeah, virtual reality, I can take, thousands of reps. I'm in there all the time, so it's been really paying off.
Talk to me about the 3rd down post route and then the inside fade for the touchdown.
Yeah, so Keem did a great job winning, stepping on the DB's toes, and I just, I put it up for him, and Keem does what Keem does. So, and the slot fade, Steve did a great job on the release. One vertically, beat him with speed, and I was able to put a ball on him.
We're listening to AJ in the headset, and there's a lot of communication almost sometimes up to the snap. How is that playing the position, handling all that while still looking at that defense too?
Yeah, no, it's been good. I mean, he's helping me out, obviously only having 3 practices, but yeah, he's been great and excited to go out there again.
I appreciate it, Luis. Thanks.
The cramming has certainly paid off so far. Saquon's White going to lose yards, and that will wrap up the first quarter. Pita, Dalmaya Penu, sealing it off just like they did this first quarter. This defense has given up nothing, and the offense has been everything. 14-0. 1 quarter in the books. The hometown BattleHawks in charge.
Well, only 47 total yards for this Columbus team, and right now St. Louis is just committing all their resources to stopping the run. They understand that Columbus has to run the football. Look at all the BattleHawks up near the line of scrimmage. They're just not going to allow this group to sit there, hand the football off, and get back in this game.
And they wind up with an empty backfield as Jalen McClendon on the first play of the second quarter throws up, over, and incomplete. Antoine Wells, the intended receiver, but there's a flag down on the play. Let's see Luka Barku, if they call him for it.
Pass interference, defense number 0. The ball replaces the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
Yeah, this is interesting because on the last series we saw a lot of contact and it was not called, and that's why these BattleHawk fans are not going to be happy. But Brock, I know you were right there at the conversation that Ricky Prohl, the head coach of the BattleHawks, had with the far side official about that pass interference. Why would one of those be called and the other one not?
Well, the conversation down in the red zone was by the back judge, I'm not going to reward a poorly thrown ball. It was not on the back shoulder. So to him, it didn't justify that penalty. In that case, the other back judge felt differently.
And he gave you 23 yards. Saquandre White, a big run down inside the 20-yard line, and suddenly Columbus is looking good. 23 on that run.
Yeah, and this is a really good job by this offensive line. They mashed down that defensive front, opened up a hole, and there you see Saquandre White, that physical slashing style he has. He's 6'1", 215 pounds. Now they're finally getting that run game going.
To the air, McClendon. Thrown underneath Tate Martin. A little crossing route. Second down.
Brock, for Columbus, it's about running the football, but you can tell they're going to have to throw it a little bit in order to open up the run game for these backs.
Yeah, and I think kind of a fine line too, Joel, because they would love to huddle and slow this game down, but they've got 2 touchdowns to Luis Perez on 2 drives, so a little bit more pace, rhythm, and tempo to this offense on this drive.
It feels like an offense that needs to get something going as they draw a flag here before the ball is snapped. I mean, McClendon took off a little early.
False start. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. It's second down.
Or maybe the center was a little late. One of the two.
Felt like everyone was on the same page except for Matt Farniok, number 71, the center, and he just didn't snap it for Todd Haley.
Brown waterfall, Monday, ready? Yeah.
Again. Trying to confuse this St. Louis defense. McClendon. And out of the backfield, White tries to make a move, but Trey Dean stops him before he can get back to the line of scrimmage, falls forward for no gain.
Trying to use these formations, Brock, and the movement before the snap to try to confuse the defense and create a little bit of an opening.
Yeah, and that's too bad because those pre-snap penalties, they kill you in any area of the field, but they just destroy scoring opportunities. That's what they wanted. They actually got the blitz through that screen into it, but still kicking themselves with that false start.
You can see St. Louis gave up a field goal on the opening drive last week. Nothing since. Jalen Morton now in at quarterback. He's usually there to run, and he does. Slips a tackle and gets the first down and more. Fighting his way all the way into the end zone. Touchdown. What second and third effort for Morton?
That was an incredible run by Jalen Morton. He runs through about 4 tackles right here. Now, he's 6'4", 230 pounds. And watch the big fella run. Great little jump cut there. And then there's 1, 2, there's 3, 4, and then a 5th BattleHawk defender. Can't get him down, and he rumbles his way into the end zone. That was an incredible answer from this Columbus offense. They were able to get some passing game going, open up some of those run lanes, and then finally Morton on the field to rumble into the end zone and cut this lead in half.
15-yard touchdown run by the backup quarterback. He's a specialist at that. Ryan Coe gets the extra point. Well, we said it felt like an important drive for Columbus. They take advantage of it.
Right? Ted Ginn, one of them. Chris Redmond in Louisville, a lot of them. A.J. McCarron. And the organizations tried to surround these young coaches with veteran coaches like Todd Haley. And it was Todd Haley that had a little conversation with the D coordinator, Captain Munnerlyn, about, hey, number 88, you may not want to leave him in one-on-one situations on third down in the red zone.
Yeah, he is as good as it gets. And we saw the big catch he had, actually. He had him covered, but you can't leave him open. He's too good. Ted Ginn, I'm sure, will take that under advisement.
I would just say this, though, as this defense comes out, and Brock, this is something to watch now, because this is where the adjustments take place. If they try to protect over the top of Akeem Butler, then Jarvion Howard is going to be able to run wild on them, because this is the worst rushing defense in the league, and they need those safeties down low. But when you have the safeties down low, you've got to play one-on-one on the outside. So that's great from Todd Haley. It's like, okay, great. And Captain Mutterland says, well, what do you want me to do? You know, just let him run the football. So what does he do? He's going to go single safety back, and they're in one-on-one coverage.
And there's Howard, and they stop it. 1-yard pickup on the play.
And so, Brock, it becomes situational. You've got to win first and second down so that you can get to third and obvious and then protect in the passing game and put that safety back.
Yeah, and I think what Todd Haley sees in a Luis Perez is just don't let him know early. Right? I mean, just try to disguise. Don't make it so easy for him. Pre-snap and into post-snap, those one-on-ones. Maybe a little disguise as much as you can.
Well, this one is not disguised. You got one-on-one all over.
And Perez going deep along the sideline, and it's called Ja'Cory Pearson. And Perez spreading it around 18 yards there. That's the 6th receiver he's hit.
And again, just this straight man-to-man coverage, and this isn't even close as far as coverage goes. It's just throwing a little bit of an out route up right there from the slot. It's almost a slot corner. And Perez is able to just loft this one out near the sideline. It's an easy catch.
Gotta go. Let's go.
And they hurry back to the line of scrimmage. In Columbus territory. Quick pass out to Pearson. And there's a good open field tackle by Michael Lawson.
That was an incredible play by Michael Lawson. Brock, did you see him fight through that block in front and get to Pearson?
Yeah, because I think what you also see is that ball's out in a hurry. And these DBs got to do that. Like, if you wait and you hesitate, you're dead against Luis Perez. And he did. He crossed his face beautifully and used that sidelines as the extra defender.
We're ready to go. Hut.
Perez has time, steps up. And intended for McBride. DJ Miller there on the coverage.
Well, here's one of those 3rd and 7s. I would say this is an obvious passing situation. And so what's the coverage? What does Captain Mutterland do here? Do you protect over the top of Akeem Butler? If they leave one-on-one on the slot, you know, Ja'Cory Pearson is a really good threat on the slot. And we saw him take advantage of one-on-one against the linebacker Tony Fields already on this series. So it's a little cat and mouse game here on 3rd and 7.
3 for 4 so far in this game on 3rd downs.
We're ready to go.
Hey, make it 4 for 5 along the sideline. And that's the big man, Butler. First down, BattleHawks.
And we saw him not on the same page on this back shoulder earlier, Brock. This one was thrown perfectly.
That is so good. I mean, that is so good from one of the league's best passers the last couple years who wanted this opportunity, and Luis is making the most of it.
Gain of 21. Here comes the pressure. And he throws it up. Butler almost one-handed incomplete. Cam Smith, though, right on it.
Let's go back to that previous play, and you're exactly right, Brock. And he's got protection in the pocket, so he can step into
holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. It's first down.
Didn't see that flag there, so we're going to back it up here offensively. But that was that last throw, and it's imperative as a quarterback is you've got to throw that ball with pace. You got to drive it right at the back shoulder of the wide receiver. And the wide receiver just falls out of his route, and it's a completion. But now back way behind the chains at 1st and 20.
Yeah, the left tackle, Richard Garage, was called for the penalty.
Yeah, San Fran punch. Ready?
3rd straight drive that St. Louis has been right down the field here, but this one a little tougher situation with the penalty.
Ready to go. Hut.
Kylin James, nowhere to run. Loses a couple of yards. Smoke Monday, the first guy there.
Go. You can wheel and deal this. Tripped right up, 860 juke special. Tripped right up, 860 juke special.
860, I'm ready.
What's the instruction you can wheel and deal this?
Smoke.
I think it's about like the coverage, and once he gets a coverage that he likes, he's got a juke route probably in the middle. He's going to be probably Ja'Cory Pearson against Fields. That's a good smart use of the cadence there. Long yardage, get a free 5 yards. That's a veteran move right there.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 56 unevaded the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. It's second down.
You know, Brock, if everything stays the same here, those juke routes are normally in the middle of the field, and they've got Pearson. They love him out of the slot. He's 5'7", 182. And he's lined up on a linebacker. If Columbus doesn't change the coverage, Pearson's going to have an opportunity to work one-on-one in the middle of the field against Tony Fields. And that's a mismatch for St. Louis. They changed the coverage here. Now they're going to drop a safety down over the top of Pearson.
Perez got a man. That was Pearson, but a little miscommunication. Pearson kept going towards the end zone, and Perez threw it a little short.
Yeah, that was just a poor throw from Perez because he's got the route. And again, they're working Pearson in the slot on these one-on-ones, and he's got to just drive that one, and that just floats way back to the pylon. Got nothing on that, and there was good protection in the backfield, so certainly one he wants back.
Brings up third down.
860. I want to. Gotta go. 860. Turbo. Ready to go.
Good pass for Butler. Boy, what a battle it's been between Smith and Butler tonight, and Cam Smith wins that one.
Yeah, and again, Smith is getting away with a ton of contact. And here he's going to try to stack him. Look at he stays on top, but then just totally prevents Butler from making a play on that ball. I certainly could have seen a flag thrown right there. I mean, he's got his hands on him the entire time. Butler can't get to that ball. I'm shocked that there wasn't a penalty called on that play. Brock, would you agree with that?
I would. And Ricky Prohl has had his hand on his super challenge flag about 4 different times. And I think trying to debate whether or not to throw it in challenge.
He should there.
Some of that. He's right now going to keep it in his back pocket, though.
That continues a drive. They could probably score a touchdown. He would win that challenge.
Well, they're going to get another 5 yards here.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 9, underbaited the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. It's fourth down.
You know, they've struggled kicking the football. Tucker McCann, he's out with an injury, and so they signed Ahmed last week. And, you know, he was just one of 2. This is not a foregone conclusion that you're getting 3 here. So, again, like, and with that penalty, that's not a play run. He could still super challenge it. I would encourage the super challenge right here. That would give you a free first down. You can go score.
Score a touchdown. Instead, they're going to settle for the 38-yard field goal attempt by Ramiz Ahmed. And Ahmed gets it. We'll see if that 4 points lines up making a difference as we go. So Jalen Morton in at quarterback. He hands it off from Levitt. Going to be dropped at the 2-yard line. Steve Linton sniffed that one out right away.
Man, this defense is so fast. It's really tough to run side to side. That front 7, they get moving. And Linton right here, he's up the field. And there's nowhere to go. As John Lovett is trying to catch the edge, and he can't get there. And now they're backed up, and this is not the scenario that you want to be in. If you're Todd Haley, the offensive play caller, this is a precarious spot. Jalen McClendon doesn't throw the ball well down the field. You want to run the football and eat up the clock, but 2nd and 20 now backed up inside of your own 2-yard line.
From the end zone, they hand it off. Lovett hit, but falls forward back to the line of scrimmage. Travis Feeney on the stop.
These guys are upfield.
And it is loud. Man, is it loud right now, too, Joel. I think this is the loudest environment of the season that certainly I have been to and heard with this ball at the 1-yard line.
Well, they pack them in, averaging 30,000 fans a game in St. Louis. By far the most in the UFL, and they've got reason to be loud down in that end zone. 3rd and 21. Lovett gets out of the end zone, but not much more. What a defensive stand for this BattleHawk team.
And this is a great defense providing opportunity for the rest of the team. They create a tackle for loss on 1st down, stuff them on 2nd and 3rd down, and now it's going to be a punt backed up. Not a lot of time to get this one off. You're probably going to get this ball at around the 50-yard line, maybe the plus side of the 50, and create a short field for an offense that has been down the field 3 times for 3 scores.
Brad Robbins standing right on the end line. And he gets it off. Sean Fresh already in Columbus territory. He'll stutter step and gets out to the 40-yard line. And that is where the BattleHawks will start. As you said, 3 possessions. They've scored all 3 times, and now they've got another opportunity here before halftime. Right now. That's Elijah Banks on him instead. We'll see if they try and take advantage. They look the other way. That's the tight end, Neville, and Neville goes airborne, stays in bounds. Great run after the catch by the tight end. 27 yards on the reception for Tyler Neville.
Yeah, I thought that this was going to be an offensive pass interference. Let me tell you why. Is because this is a pick play. Watch coming from the outside. You're going to try to sneak the tight end right there, but there's contact by the wide receiver, and that ball was caught beyond the line of scrimmage. If it's caught behind the line of scrimmage, that's a legal block. But as soon as he goes beyond the line of scrimmage, that should have been a penalty right there. I know that's an odd, super challenge, but I think he should have thrown that. That was an illegal block from the outside from St. Louis.
Joel nerding out on us right now.
Ready to go.
From the 14. Kylin James gets going. And into the end zone. How easy was that? 14 yards on the run, 2 plays, and they extend the lead.
Just too easy over there on the left side. Columbus came in with the worst rushing defense in the league, and this is just proof of that. Kylin James, little rodeo motion right here, and you see the stop and start in the backfield, and then a nice job on the outside. Garage, the left tackle, number 76, stayed with his block. James was able to read that, get the edge, and then he walked into the end zone.
There's Ahmed. 2 plays, less than a minute off the clock. 53 seconds to be exact. And Kylin James showing that the BattleHawks can score through the air, on the ground. Well, we have all kinds of access in the UFL, right, Brock Hewitt?
We do, and I'm just curious. I've watched Gabriel De Leon have some conversations with Ricky Prohl about a penalty or not a penalty with these contested throws, especially to Hakeem. How do you judge that?
If there's a back shoulder and I'm looking at that and, there's no material restriction, I'm just going to leave it alone, to be honest with you.
So if the throw is not where it should be, if that throw's not there, you're not going to reward a poor throw on something like that?
Yeah, that works. That works for me.
How difficult is that call? Is that pass interference versus a contested catch?
I'll be right back.
He's got to do his job.
He's got to work, Brock.
I tried.
Hey, you're doing work too. Have you ever seen an official interview during a game? That's fantastic.
I love it. But he was coy with his answer. He's like, yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
And then I want to give away trade secrets there.
It's time to shut down the press conference. Ryan Sanborn, the punter, is also the kickoff specialist. And he kicks it off to Jalen Moore. All right, maybe we need to refresh your memory just a little bit.
Yeah, so here's what we're talking about, and that was Gabriel DeLong, excuse me. He's the field judge tonight, and these are some of those plays that are close, right? There's contact, but is it pass interference? Is it not pass interference? I think it's one of the great mysteries in all of football, Brock, wouldn't you say?
Yes, like block charge in basketball.
Yeah.
Right, when you watch the NBA, is that a block? Is that a charge? Is that a flop? Is that not a flop? A lot of judgment go into those decisions.
So Columbus takes over here on first down. McClendon out to Tay Martin. And Martin picks up 7.
Well, again, they're going to have to use this passing game a little bit to open up the run game. And then when they do run the football, they need to be direct runs. What do I mean by direct runs? Downhill. If they're trying to run side to side against this defense, they're too fast. The old adage for coaching staffs is that you run at speed and away from power. Well, this is a speed defense. You need to run right at them.
Along the sidelines, Wells. And Antoine Wells picks up the first down for Todd Haley.
Say it.
They're going to be moving quickly here. Remember, they won the toss and took the ball to start the game, and so St. Louis will get the kickoff to start the third quarter. So this is a big series here where you've got to go down and you've got to change the outlook of this game with a touchdown, and you'd really love to do it by taking all 2:56 off the clock.
McClendon won't even get a chance as he is sacked. First sack of the ball game, Carlos Davis. 5.5 on the year for the big man to lead St. Louis.
Yeah, this guy can really rush the passer from the interior. He's 6'2", 305 pounds, and McClendon doesn't really have a chance here. Good active hands, good powerful rush getting up the field. And again, this is something that this St. Louis team does very well. They're the #1 sack team in the UFL. They get after the passer.
They had 18 in the first 6 games and had that one. That's Carlos Davis on the tackle. His towel came out of the backfield. And that may take us down to the 2-minute warning.
And that was big Carlos Davis, by the way. You saw him get after the passer and then read the screen beautifully. And he was able to retrace his steps, get back there for the tackle.
And now we'll get a chance to catch his breath because we've reached the 2-minute warning. Get something going before the break. It's a key third down so they don't give the ball back to St. Louis. Antoine Wells, running room. Dancing, he's going to be stopped just shy. And they've crossed the 50-yard line, so they have to go for it on 4th down.
Well, it's
take the long field. It's one of the two.
Inside of 2 minutes, though, so they technically could still punt. That rule changes right now, but at 4th and 2 in this game situation, they're certainly going to go for it. Nice run by Juice Wells there to get themselves into this position where they can go on 4th and 2.
McClendon. Nice pass, intercepted. Right into the hands of Jordan Mosley. And the BattleHawks defense with another big play.
Well, they're trying to get a little bit of eye candy in the backfield here. Watch this motion. They're trying to fake the jet sweep with the snap right there and then try to get that same player out on the wheel route, the tight end on the backside. And the BattleHawks defense just never bit on any of those fakes. Great discipline with their eyes. Brock, that's a heck of a job by those safeties, and Jordan Mosley with that interception.
Yeah, you just do feel this speed, Joel. You made an excellent point about attacking this defense. Maybe a little undersized in some spots, but we've watched championship defenses in the spring. This feels like one because they can run all over the field.
And they give their offense the ball back with 1:15 left, and they get the ball to start the second half. So that's a big swing.
And I felt like that was just a little bit too much creativity. Now listen, Todd Haley's an excellent offensive coach, but 4th and 2 with the best rushing attack in the league, I certainly felt like they would try to get big and try to get those 2 yards running directly at that undersized front 7.
Jarvian Howard on first down. We'll see what St. Louis can do.
Yeah, a lot of conversation here between AJ and Ricky of how they want to handle this. AJ Brown, AJ Smith, the coordinator.
Look where this is at. Strong right, 81, X fade. Strong right, 81, X fade. X and Z fade. Here we go. X and Z 9, X and Z 9. Strong right.
They're going to throw it, but there was a lot of conversation because remember, Luis has not had a 2-minute drive with this team even in practice. So getting the ball to begin the second half, I think you got to be pretty guarded with the possession.
Ready to go.
Perez up high, and it's complete. Good job of coming back to get the football by Stephen McBride.
That'll stop the clock with the first down until they can get the change set. But really good throw. Layered this ball right over the linebacker and corner and in front of the corner on the outside. Beautiful touch right there.
It's their 3rd and 5.
Now they've got
seconds.
A lot of options at their disposal to try to get the necessary field goal range for.
What do we think?
Look, they're going quarters.
Ryan Coe.
They're going quarters. I'm thinking.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Let's go 2 by 2.
You want Reno?
Let's go Reno. Yeah.
Okay,
You want red, Reno.
Hey, remember you get it. You got to spike it. You get first
first down. Yeah. Spike it. What's the play? Okay, Red Reno.
So out of timeouts, they know if they get a first down, they'll try and spike it to stop the clock.
Go on turbo here.
Brock,
Go on turbo.
Ahmed, this is only his second game. What do they think his range might be?
Well, both the kicker, I'm always a little careful with this. When I asked the kicker, he said up to 65, and actually Ricky Prohl confirmed that. He said, yeah, in practice this week, he was right at about 64 yards, so very comfortable with a 4-point field goal.
Yeah, anything 60 or over is worth 4 points in the UFL. They got to get there first. This will help. Butler stays in bounds, finally steps out after picking up the first on a gain of 12.
Yeah, good move right there. Now, right when he went back towards the interior, I thought to myself, oh, no, you got to get yourself out of bounds. But he does that and stops the clock. A nice little drag route right there. All that defense for Columbus. They were sinking back, trying to not give up the big play down the field. And there he steps out of bounds and stops the clock.
53, all one ready? 53, 53.
So the ball right at the 39-yard line.
Turbo. Ready to go.
Perez going up top, got a man open. McBride. That close. McBride looking over his inside shoulder. Perez throwing it outside.
Well, he got the inside release right here, and so now he's just going to try to keep that stem, but you can see he started to bend that towards the interior, the inside of the field. And obviously Perez wanted him to stay outside, and that's what he's saying. Look at him, he grabs his helmet, he's thinking to himself, that was a big completion that we just missed right there.
Hurry up.
Went down to 16 seconds.
860. Turbo.
Be about a 57-yard attempt if they don't gain any more yards right here.
Ready to go.
And they make it shorter. Now the clock, because he didn't get the first down, will continue.
They got to kill it. They got to go fast.
They got to line up and spike this.
What a mistake. They're going to lose out on the chance for points. That is a huge mistake on the outside. Frank Darby has to know that he either has to get out of bounds or he has to get that first down, the yardage for the first down in order to stop the clock.
No, you can't. I don't challenge.
They don't have their super challenge. I don't think that there's anything that they could challenge here. He needed to get all the way to the 29. Did he get that? I don't think he did. The spot was good. And at that point, it's just a rush to get to the ball and wasn't set. And they're not going to get any points. That is just a huge mistake by Frank Darby.
Well, that certainly didn't help. Taking a little bit of extra time to set the ball, but as you said, the decision to cut it inside put the pressure on everybody to try and get it straightened out. Let's check in with Brock and the head coach.
Well, Coach, notwithstanding the last play there and the little fumbled snap by the ref, you made the decision to make the quarterback change, and holy smokes, that's 4 scores in your first 4 drives.
Yeah, just, you know, he's got so much experience. It's just, you know, and I don't want to, Harrison did a good job, but this guy's he's a proven winner, and he's showing that tonight.
What was the conversation there at the end you were having with your coaches just about the mechanics of that last play?
Yeah, Frank's got to get out of bounds, stop the clock. And then if not, if you're going to do that, you got to hand it to the official so we can get it spotted.
There have been a lot of conversation that first half about contact with Akeem. I saw you talking to the officials. What was some of that about?
It's just frustrating. You know, he's a big guy, 6'6", so they go into defense mode and they start grabbing and holding when they know they're beat or the ball's in the air. And it's just, for me, we see it every week, time and time again. And we just got to play through it. It is what it is.
I appreciate it, Coach. And you get to enjoy a little ceremony here celebrating your Super Bowl championship.
Yeah, it's fun to have Coach here and Mike Jones and a lot of teammates, Timmerman and Andy Colum. And, yeah, it's special time.
And a pretty fun first half. Good luck in the second.
Thank you so much, Brock. Appreciate it.
Well, they scored on the first.
That they're stacking the line of scrimmage on first down, getting themselves in a position to rush the passer on, you know, second down and long, third down and long. And that front seven for this St. Louis team is so active, and they get up the field. They've been doing a heck of a job, but it'll be Luis Perez here on the field first to start this third quarter, up 24-7, and an opportunity to really extend this lead.
And so Columbus will need their defense to come through and make a play. As we get ready to start the second half, Gary Jennings returns it out across the 20-yard line where Luis Perez and this offense will take it over.
You know, Brock, sometimes you can get so enamored with getting your quarterback ready in the passing game that you forget how dominant you are on the ground. You know, I said it there at half. St. Louis averaging 6 yards per carry on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if they went in at halftime and thought to themselves, hey, let's just pound this football and eat up some of this clock.
Yeah, I think they were surprised in chatting with A.J. Smith, the coordinator, how much man-to-man they got, and they certainly took advantage of it through the passing game.
They run it here on the first play. Jarvie and Howard back to the line of scrimmage. Not much more. Kenny Willicus with the tackle.
Yeah, nice job by Willicus. That's really his bread and butter, chasing from that backside of the play. He's such an effort player. He was able to get down the line of scrimmage and make that play for no gain.
With the Steelers at one point last season, former 7th-round pick of the Vikings.
Ready to go. Hut.
Perez. Picked off. Well, Columbus needed their defense to do something, and they did. DJ Miller with the first takeaway of the game.
He just baited him into that throw. It's soft coverage, but he never really moves. So you think you got an easy out route, but watch as he just turns his hips, gets right back under that throw, and that was floated, and it was late. Brock, you're going to throw that out route. You've got to be on time, and that ball's got to be on target. And that was a great play by DJ Miller.
Well, Coach said it was spicy in that locker room. I don't think you could have a defensively to take the ball away, and now you got to score.
That's right.
I mean, that's what you talk about at halftime. Hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a stop. We're going to score. We'll be right back in it.
Just the 5th takeaway all season for Columbus, who came in tied for the fewest in the league, and John Lovett gets them started with a 4-yard run on first down.
They had a little bit of success when they were running right at the interior, and in particular when they got to their gap schemes. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that you're going to block down on the front side. You're going to pull a backside lineman and kick out the end, and then you can run right downhill at that defense. That was their best schematics, running the football in the first half. We'll see if they get to that here in the third quarter.
Hey, 21. Sir. 180. That's right.
They fake the handoff. That's Juice Wells. Good open field tackle made by Daniel Isaac.
Brock, there's that speed. Tough to go side to side on this group.
Yeah, and I think a conversation here too, Joel, just kind of game management-wise, right? I think if you're Ted again and talking to Haley and Bob Saunders, it's got to be 4-down territory, right? I mean, you're not going to settle for a field goal coming out of second half.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, the defense giving them an opportunity to swing the momentum here to start the second half. McClendon, Martin, first down. Dives forward to move the chains for Ginn.
Took advantage of that man-to-man in the secondary. Good job by McClendon to scoot up in the pocket, and Ted Ginn doesn't have to make that 4th down decision as they move the chains. But to go back to Brock's point, you know, you get a pick like that in a short field from Luis Perez, you've got to put this ball in the end zone. So the rest of the way, I would assume this is 4-down territory, down 24-7.
First down from the 23. Another quick pass. Wells hanging on, fighting his way down to the 2-yard line. Jordan Mosley just slowed him down. It was all he could do. He couldn't tackle him, but he held on long enough. 21 yards.
And this is a great job of just getting a little bit of a side adjust. You see both of those wide receivers, the tight end and the wide receiver, turn to the quarterback. That's because they saw the blitz coming from that side of the defense.
Hang on till you get help.
Hey, y'all can't hear me.
False start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Chris Glazer jumping off early.
Those are just killers when you get down there inside of the 5-yard line.
Regular.
And this is the best momentum Columbus has had all night long.
Hey, one strong Zen. Black Rojo XK. Monday, ready?
See if they can shake it off.
Here we go.
And once again, looks like the center Met Farniak.
False start. Offense number 8. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Because McClendon backed up expecting to have the ball and didn't.
Yeah, but no one else moved. It's almost like McClendon thought they were going on just the first sound. Watch, no one else really moves either. It's almost like McClendon forgot the snap count. And now that's 2 straight penalties, and that backs him up outside of the 10-yard line.
You had first and goal from the 2.
Here you go. Hey,
it's now from the 12.
Right, Cadillac, deep post, Monday, ready?
McClendon underneath. Tay Martin diving, touchdown Columbus. And so the Aviators take advantage of the turnover to start this second half, and they pull a little closer.
That's exactly what they needed. And this is a beautiful job by McClendon. Watch as he's just going to elude the rush coming over from his right there, and then he's able to step up, move to his right, find Tay Martin, who did a great job settling down in the middle of the field. And Luis Perez sees his interception turned into points going in the other direction. The Aviators, they had to have it, and they got it. That is a big touchdown for them to start this third quarter.
Well, they were desperate to start the second half, and desperation paying off. Ryan Coe gets the extra point. Well, maybe it's good sometimes when things get spicy. Ted Ginn Jr., the head coach, said it was spicy at halftime. His team has come out and responded, turning the turnover into a touchdown and pulls them to within 10. Now he gets another opportunity, though, still up by double digits. Howard out of the backfield. Slips a tackle. Fights his way out for a gain of 8.
Brock, he's just got some juice, whether they're handing it to him, throwing it to him out of the backfield. You know, when he got his hands on the football, you can tell he's looking for contact, big back. He's a good player.
Yeah, and you also see how quickly he gets the ball in his hands, right? I mean, that was one of the conversations this week with Ricky Proehl, the head coach, and why he made this decision is Luis may not have warmed up and may not have thrown a very good comeback / out route, but he does get that ball out of his hands in a hurry to his playmakers.
Ready to go.
And Howard has been one all season long, leading the UFL in rushing, and now he picks up a first down out to the 42-yard line.
You know, we touched on it in the first half, Brock. This is a defense that is last in the UFL stopping the run. You know, and when St. Louis wants to run the football, they've been able to do that. And they've been able to do that to a really efficient clip. They've run it for now 5.5 per carry. And Howard is certainly a guy that he can wear on a defense, sitting at 225.
Out of Alcorn State.
Ready to go.
They were the Packers in the NFL. And he catches it out of the backfield again. Bowling his way through defenders, and another nice gain of 9.
And Brock, what do they come out and do right away after that out route to the field? Floats on him, quick passes, screen, swing
easy
pass
completion
out of his hand.
Oh, no, 81 back.
I'll tell you one other guy.
Let's go, Toby White. Let's go, Toby White. Toby White. Hey, alert the
Toby White, 81 vert. Toby White, 81 vert. I'll tell you one other guy that we never talk about that I really like, Joel and Kurt. That's the center on this team. The last 3 years, all UFL, Panashuk. He just is a difference maker in the middle of it.
Now, Kylin James comes in, flags out, play drop for a loss.
Yeah, but they're going to get a face mask here. This is going to be 15 and a free first down.
Just make sure we enforce that correctly. Personal foul, face mask, defense number 27, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Smoke Monday, who's played so well tonight, gets called for the penalty.
Yeah, he made that play at the goal line earlier in the first half. He was on a blitz, and he comes right into the middle of this line of scrimmage. And watch 27, and he knifes through right here. And as he's reaching to make the tackle, there's the reach up near the helmet, turns the helmet right there of Kylin James. And it's an easy call for the official. They went right back to that Blake Jackson formation with him in the backfield, and Perez lined up out at wide receiver.
So a first down after the penalty. Another quick pass right in the middle of the field. Jacob Pearson, and St. Louis is in the red zone.
This is what I'm talking about. This is a smart route from a good slot receiver. You're going to see the space in the middle of the field right there. And as he's working, he's just going to settle down in that space, and he's not going to run to get himself covered. I keep saying that when you see zone coverage as a wide receiver, you got to give the numbers to your quarterback. And he did a great job there, Brock, creating a completion for Perez.
15 yards on that
just
game.
such a great feel for space.
Hut.
Kylin James trying to bounce it outside. No chance. Excellent coverage by this defense. Kenny Willikas made the tackle. Fred Tompkins stretched it out.
It's great aggressive defense right there. We've said the name Kenny Willikas a few times. Watch as they're going to get penetration all along that left side of the offense. That's a really good job by Fred Tompkins, number 11, getting in the backfield, stringing that out, and then Willikas keeping that outside arm free. See, he's the in man on the line of scrimmage, so he's got contain over there. He's got to keep that right arm free, and he does so, and he's there to make the tackle.
We got Kansas.
Shift Butler over the left side.
Turbo.
Too many men on the field. Defense. 5-yard penalty. It's second down.
Yeah, tell me, coach.
And Captain Munnerlyn, defensive coordinator for Columbus, having a rough day today. His defense. He's trying to get the extra man off the field.
Can't hear you. Hey, Toby.
Definitely some confusion over on that sideline.
You're good. Turbo. Ready to go.
James, easy. Rushing touchdown of the night for Kylin James. This one from 18.
And this just opens up like the Red Sea. I don't know what the safety is looking at. That's Michael Lawson. He was heading over to the left side over there. Captain Munnerlyn just can't believe it. Nothing's working for this Aviators defense. And again, huge hole in the middle of that field. Good job by the offensive line and the second rushing touchdown of the night for Kylin James. Although, let's face it, Kurt, I think you or I could have run that one in.
The play clock would still be going, though.
That's right.
Ahmed makes it a 31-14 lead. St. Louis answers. Kylin James getting more opportunities tonight than he's had all season long in a single game. And he's taking advantage, too. Right
all day long.
First punt of the night for St. Louis. Ryan Sanborn back in his end zone. Good kick. Juice Wells on the run. Into St. Louis territory. And Columbus will start inside the 30-yard line. There is a flag down, however. Let's see what the marker is before they spot the ball. Well, Perez and this offense stopped twice in 3 possessions to start the second half.
During the return, personal foul, illegal blindside block, receiving team number 32. 15-yard penalty. It's first down, Columbus.
That's on Kedrick Whitehead. It seems like even when things go well, they do something to take it back.
Boy, that was close. I don't know. They're trying to double team the gunner on the outside, and that obviously negates really good field position. Now, if you're the Aviators, and if this is going to be a comeback that you're going to try to use the pass game, then what you're going to be using here is your best and most reliable targets. Taden Martin, 81, would be one of those. Antoine Wells, Juice Wells, number 6. Those are the guys that you'd be looking for.
Would be the 47, correct? Or
15 from there.
Oh, yeah. Plus 28, so we're going to plus 43.
Correct.
Plus 43. Plus
Yep.
43.
You can hear Brian Banks talking with Dean Blandino and the command center to try and get the ball spotted in the right place. Yeah. Moved it back a little too far.
Yeah, 15 from the end of the run. And so that would put it not from the spot of the foul. So just some clean up there by the officials. And a reminder for fans, if you're new to the UFL, 17 points is a two-possession game here. So, you know, with the ability to go for 3 if you want to after a score, this is a two-possession game right now.
And they'll start this drive from the 43. McClendon steps up in the pocket, deep in the end zone, and overthrows everybody. Intended receiver there, Juice Wells, who had a step, but they couldn't connect.
Just too far out in front of him, and he bought enough time, and Wells runs a good route here. He fights through the contact, and right there he's got the step. If that ball is out in front, and it looks like he even slowed up a touch. As McClendon, you can see, he's trying to put that ball out in front, and just not on the same page, and it falls incomplete.
Hey, Bert Bunny, Bert. Man, come on.
Play clock. And they're going to be forced to use the timeout. Do they call it from the sideline?
Hey, man, come here, man. Y'all never push the clock up. They never resetted the clock.
But they didn't call the timeout either. So they did lose the
game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. It's second down.
Come on, man.
All right, what we got? What we got? Hey.
So they hold on to the timeout, and they'll take the 5-yard penalty.
And now you get that pass rush opportunity at 2nd and 15 to get after it. Brock, there seemed to be confusion. Why did they want a new play clock?
There was a lot of chaos on the sidelines over here. I don't think it was communicated about the respot, so they were curious, why was it there? Just some communication struggles, and we all know when Todd Haley doesn't get the answer he wants, he's going to let you know about it.
And the respot worked in their favor, so they should have just lined up and gone. Here's McClendon on 2nd and 15. And diving, Jalen Moore. And they said he made the catch.
That is a tremendous catch. And it looked like this ball just goes right through the arms of the defender.
Here you go, hurry.
After discussion, the ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. It's third down.
Boy, it didn't look like it was complete from up here.
No.
You know, Kurt. And
well, one official spotted it as complete, but you heard after discussion they decided it wasn't.
Yeah, that was
someone had a clear view.
Neville Clark, what a great effort he made for that interception right there, number 14. Got in front of that pass. Remember, they are across the 50 here, so they cannot punt on this series. And now 3rd and 15, you got to start thinking about how do you get yourself in a more manageable 4th down scenario. And that's where you look at Tate Martin. Remember, they love those rub routes and those crossing routes over the middle. And again, communication. McClendon looking at the sideline and looking for the call.
And the play clock down to 13. They're still in the huddle. McClendon has time. Just throws it underneath to Zaquandre White. And White slips a tackle. Going to be stopped 2 yards shy of the first down. And a little pushing and shoving after the play.
Yeah, a little chippy there, but White did a great job after the catch. Getting that ball all the way down near the first down marker. And now they can go into more of a run-oriented short yardage package. Remember, earlier today we saw Jalen Morton come in 3rd and 7 and have that beautiful run for a touchdown. I wonder now they're going to leave McClendon on the field here. I just thought on a short yardage that they would go back to something that worked earlier today.
Well, remember, they are the #1 rushing team statistically in the UFL. So they're going to respot this ball again.
Are we good on the game clock?
We're at 2, so we need to pump it up.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm trying to pump up to 25 because we didn't have the ball down.
Yeah.
So the officials with a little trouble spotting the ball once again. This time they will reset the play clock.
You know, earlier in this game on a 4th and 2 similar, they threw the football. And, you know, you wondered with the league's best rushing attack, you know, would they try to line up and go right at them? And here, We got a similar situation of 4th and 2.
White lowers the shoulder. I don't think he got there.
No, not by the far side of official. He came in a yard short of that line to gain.
And they officially stopped them, and Columbus will turn it over on downs.
Yeah, aggressive playing from this St. Louis defense, and he was definitely short. Not a lot of push by that offensive line. Great job by that front 7 again, fighting off blocks and getting to Zaquandre White before he can get that first down. That's twice now the Aviators on 4th and 2 have failed. They tried to throw for it earlier in the game. There you see a good picture there, getting that shot of his knee down, well short of the first down marker. Ricky Prohl loving it.
So Columbus unable to take advantage of the opportunity after their defense stopped St. Louis for one of the rare times on the previous possession.
And penalties just killed them. They had the delay.
Right.
Obviously goes back to 2nd and 15. Remember, they had the blindside block after the great return. Set them up with tremendous field position and unable to capitalize on that possession. That is a back-breaking possession right there.
James, what will be the final play of the 3rd quarter? St. Louis will go to start this 4th quarter, and Joel, this is only their 3rd home game. 3 of their last 4 are at home, and this team is almost unbeatable here in the Dome over the last couple of years.
If they can get home field advantage in the playoffs, you know, get a home game, that would be huge for them.
Here's Perez. Butler tried to catch it right off his fingertips. Good coverage by Michael Lawson to knock it down.
Lawson was able to get his hands on that football because it was just a touch thrown behind him. Brock, if this one is more right on the frame, I think Butler could probably hold on to this one.
Yeah, I would agree. I think what you're seeing here is a little bit of adjustment from Captain Munnerlyn and Columbus defensively.
Yeah,
just changing that picture up a little bit for Luis.
Will it be enough?
Turbo, ready to go.
Perez up top. Ja'Cour Pearson, just too much air underneath that ball. There's Lawson again. Back-to-back good plays by him.
I'll tell you, Lawson started in the middle of the field. He was flying over there. Perez didn't hold him with his eyes at all. He's got the route and he's got the win right there. And you can see as 41, Michael Lawson comes flying into your screen. That's a win for them. They've got the matchup that they want. They've got Pearson on Fred Tompkins, who's a linebacker. That's going to be a completion all day long. But when you don't hold the safety with your eyes as a quarterback and give too much air, it's just too much opportunity for the safety to come over and create the incompletion.
And so here's Ryan Sanborn, the reigning Special Teams Player of the Week in the UFL, on the punt. Dancing around out to the 30-yard line. Well, Todd Haley frustrated the last time his team had the football.
We didn't sub! We did not sub!
And remember, that was after the penalty. Then they wind up taking another penalty for delay of game because they were upset because the ball was reset. In that 3rd quarter alone, they had 6 penalties for 50 yards. New draw play. John Lovett fights his way for a gain of 9. And what have you seen on that sideline there, Brock? Because it looks at time, both offensively and defensively, we've seen a little bit of a lack of composure, maybe.
Well, what did Coach Ginn say at halftime? It was spicy.
Yeah.
This team runs hot. When you're around them and you cover them and you see them, right? There's a fine line between having that passion and losing composure, and they walk that line a fair amount as a whole group, right? That spicy, I think, is a pretty good way to often define the sidelines.
John Lovett picks up the first down for Columbus.
Yeah, now we got an injured BattleHawk on the field. And yet all of that, you know, the spicy halftime, you know, the composure on the sideline. Here we are. It's still a 2-possession game. 17 in the UFL is still 2-possession. Play has gotten sloppier on the field.
McClendon That one tipped as he tried to throw it out to Tate Martin, falls incomplete.
Well, it's just discipline. I mean, when you're talking about all these pre-snap penalties, and there have been a ton of them, it is that attention to detail and discipline. And I think it's part of the reason, guys, 6 games in, and they call this like the final stretch of the season. You're talking about the worst second-half team in the league. 8.7 points a game in the second half. I mean, that's a big reason why you're 2-4 and fighting for your playoff life.
Well, it's hard to put up points when you're going backwards, as they have done 12 times tonight. Quick pass, and that's caught by Kiki Chisholm. They bring up a 3rd down.
McClendon is pretty good when he's throwing those drag routes over the middle or in-breaking routes. That's when he's clearly most comfortable. And now on 3rd and 6, you got to look to that. Where do you find a matchup on the interior, get a slant, something breaking towards the inside?
He's pressured, being chased. He gets the 1st down. Right at the midfield stripe, McClendon moving the chains.
This is something that he's shown the ability to do all season long, is move the chains with his feet. He came in with 21 rushes off of scrambles, off of dropbacks, and then turn into a runner. And here he's able to turn that into a 1st down.
Yeah, you wouldn't call him a running quarterback, but he can. Picks up 10 yards. Tries to go up top, intended for Martin. Falls incomplete.
That ball has not crossed the 50, so technically they could still punt.
Hey, let's go right here. Come on, come on, come on.
17.
Hey, 12 personnel. Give me base, give me base, give me base.
It's almost one of those situations, if you don't get the first, you're thinking 4-point field goal attempt.
Brown Pringle, right there, ready? You got, sit. Yeah, sit. Hey, take it.
McClendon brings it down again, scrambles for the 1st down again. 11 yards on the run by the quarterback.
Yeah, that's a great decision, Brock. You could tell his eyes were downfield, but as soon as the open middle of the field, he saw it and he just took off.
Yeah, I love the decision. Just go. Like, this is go time, right? I mean, this is now 4th quarter. Cannot be any level of hesitation, and he is a good athlete. Every time we see him,
St. Louis.
To your point, Joel, he can throw it from the pocket, but he's athletic enough to move as well.
Now, you made this point earlier in the year. We were doing their first game, these Aviators, and McClendon had only had, what was it, Brock, 13 starts in 7 years?
Yeah.
And you can tell he's become much more comfortable in the pocket. I feel like he makes quicker decisions. You've seen the maturation and growth during the course of this season.
I'm running though.
Yeah, you know, he was saying that this week on our call of just, it's the first time in my life since high school that I've been the guy, and I'm not looking over my shoulder, and I'm gaining confidence. And you hear him here with Haley, like they've got kind of a cool relationship. They're both aggressive guys. And they do walk that line between being disciplined and having poise and also pulling the trigger. But it's a big 10 minutes. I think in many ways their season on the line here, sitting at 2-4.
They're at 2-4. The top 4 teams at the end of the regular season make the playoffs. Love it. Out of the backfield. Going to dance his way right there at that 1st down marker. And all of a sudden, Columbus has something going.
Yeah, this is a really good job by Todd Haley because he's going to see the pressure here coming from St. Louis, and they just dial up the screen right behind it. So it's the perfect play at the right time, and McClendon executes it perfectly right over Travis Feeney, and he gets the ball completed on the outside.
McClendon poised to Tay Martin, who breaks the tackle, and it's another double-digit gain. I think it's 4 plays in a row that they put up double-digit pickups. This time, give them 16.
Yeah, they've got the rhythm now, and Tay Martin is certainly one of their best players. He usually lines up in the slot. Last week, he went 6 catches for 104 yards, and they finally find him there for a nice gain.
From the 13-yard line, McClendon. That's caught by Martin, nowhere to go, courtesy of Sean Fresh. And Martin slow to get up.
Well, with 8:57 left, you start thinking about your possessions. You can't just kick an extra point. You're down 17, so you need a 2-point conversion and a 3-point conversion. If you're Todd Haley, that's got to be in your back pocket. So you probably, I would think, go for 2 on this possession if you can stick it in the end zone.
Hey, it's going to be 0.
The 11th play of the drive. Blitz coming. Picked up. Not for long. Jordan Mosley back in the game and getting the sack. Third sack for this defense tonight.
And they light him up here. Here's the pressure right here. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a little hot route thrown behind him. And McClendon was just not looking at that drag route. He's still trying to get the ball to the outside to the one-on-one coverage. But he's got full pressure there. You can't pick everybody up. And at times, you got to understand as a quarterback that you're responsible for protection as well, just like the offensive line. And when you're hot like that, you can't pick everybody up. That ball has got to go down to the hot route, which was the drag over the middle.
Injured BattleHawk down on the field. Can't see exactly who it is, so I don't want to speculate on the number. And while he's down, let's take a look at the standings. We talked about how the top 4 teams at the end of the regular season make the playoffs. And right now, St. Louis in that number 2 slot, along with D.C., whom they beat week 1. But DC's won every game since.
Yeah, and the St. Louis team, it's so important for them to get one of those top 2 seeds, and then they would host one of those first playoff games. Obviously, a great home field advantage with this crowd and this crowd noise in the dome. And so it's a big 8 minutes for them and their postseason prospects. But then obviously, as Brock, you alluded to, at 2-4, this Aviators team, they're right in the thick of it, there's no doubt, but they have to win this ball game.
Yeah, I think there is that kind of pressure here in the final 8 minutes. I'll say this, too. I mean, we know D.C. They've been together it seems like that team has been together with Jordan Ta'amu for 4 years now. They've played so much ball together. And the St. Louis team's got 9 guys over 30 years of age. Also a lot of experience playing a whole bunch of spring league football.
And a lot of experience playing together. I think that's shown as the season has gone on. Here comes the blitz again. McClendon gets it out quickly. Tate Martin down to the 10-yard line. 4th down, decision time.
Well, we've seen them heated up here, haven't we? Corey Chamblin is not just sitting back and letting them march down the field as they've gotten into the red zone. We've seen pressure after pressure, and here on 4th and 7, I would assume that you're going to get more pressure here because what you don't want is McClendon to have a bunch of time in the pocket and have the ability to run around and create.
So you can see they can get a first down. McClendon towards the end zone. They get a touchdown. Kiki Chisholm. And now we'll see what they do for a point after.
Well, now the decision for Ted Ginn, but here's where we're at in the pocket. McClendon has time because they don't pressure. They sit back for the first time in the last few snaps, and McClendon is able to survey the defense, and he's got time to find Chisholm in the end zone for a touchdown. It's a heck of a drive by this Columbus team, but I have no idea why they're just going to kick this extra point. It's a 2-possession game if you go for 2 or 3 right now. There's no reason to kick this extra point. It remains a 2-possession game if you do this.
Ryan Cole comes on, and he misses it. Hits the upright, and Ted Ginn watches his team remain down by 11. So it's still 2 possessions, but you need a field goal, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion.
Well, he shouldn't have been on the field in the first place. They should have been going for 2 or 3. Offense does their job, sticks it in the end zone.
Get ahead of it. You can't be reacting. You've got to be proactive ahead of those decisions. There was very little conversation before that.
And whatever conversation was had, not the right one. Jordan Howard tackle behind the line of scrimmage on the play.
And here's the other part now. Now you go out there and you kick it away, but you still need the ball twice.
Right.
And now we're inside of 7 minutes. And so the pressure is on this Columbus defense. They've got to get a stop now. This can't be a long series. A couple of first downs, and you're not seeing the ball twice if you're the Aviators.
Snag D.
And a turnover would certainly help this team if their defense can get it.
Hey! Turbo, turbo! Turbo, turbo!
We might be going.
Ready to go!
Perez. And that one's caught complete. And that's for his tight end, James Bostic. Flag on the play as well.
They're going to get a free first down here because I believe we're going to get a roughing the passer call.
Remember this Columbus team being a little aggressive, trying to make a play on defense.
High hit launching is
Okay, we're good.
Both of the plays are completion here.
okay. All right. So was it a completion?
Yes,
completed.
And that's Bostic who made the catch.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 56. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Ron Stone Jr. call for roughing the passer, and as you said, that free first down, and more importantly, will eat up more clock for St. Louis.
Yeah, he's not late, but he goes right, and that's helmet-to-helmet contact on the quarterback, and that's obviously going to get called. And listen, he's trying to get to the quarterback, get the stop. That's certainly not a dirty play. Captain Munderland doesn't like it, but that is the letter of the law. I mean, he goes helmet-to-helmet there, and that's going to come out. And now I believe that they're going to super challenge this. But again,
he was thrown into the player. Let me find out what number.
Unless they say he was blocked into him.
What number? Did you have a number that you are saying?
56. He's just challenging that it's not roughing the passer.
Correct.
Yep.
Columbus is challenging that there is no roughing the passer on the play. The play is on the further review.
All right, I'm going to keep it open to you, Brian. We're looking at it. There's no question. Forcible contact to the head neck. He's in a passing posture. He's going to get defenseless player protection. I think what coach is saying is that the left tackle pushed him into the contact. The only way that would take him off roughing the passer is if it was unavoidable. And 56 is going to clearly, you can see him lead with the head. He's going to make forcible contact into the head neck area. So after review, Brian, it is roughing the passer. They do lose the challenge, and we'll charge him the timeout.
After review, the ruling on the field roughing and passer is confirmed. Columbus loses their challenges for the remainder of the game, and they will be charged their first time out.
Well, you heard the explanation from Dean Blandino, who's taking a look at it in the replay command center. And
correction, that's their second timeout.
Again, where someone from Columbus should have been, this play had been aired, the replay.
Yeah.
And it was clear that there was a helmet-to-helmet. So someone should have said, don't challenge that, because again, not only are you losing clock, now you lost another timeout.
13th penalty for Columbus today. I think that was just kind of a last-ditch effort, right? You know, you're just trying to, because that obviously gives them a first down. Now they can take another couple of minutes off the clock, but losing the timeout does not help Columbus at all. You know, so again, you get a first down here if you're St. Louis, and it puts Columbus in a real bind trying to get the ball back twice because they attempted the extra point versus going for 2 or 3.
Ready to go.
So now St. Louis will try and run as much clock as they possibly can. They keep it on the ground. Jarvian Howard. Tony Fields wraps him up
Joel, trying to come on morning show up in Seattle. And my co-host, Mike Salk, loves to say, especially about baseball, control the controllables. There's a lot of things in the game you can't control, right? But there are things and decisions you make, especially before a snap, or decisions you make game management-wise. Control the controllables, and it sure feels like in the second half, especially Columbus just let it get away from them.
Meanwhile, St. Louis for 2 or 3. Offense does their job, sticks it in the end zone, but they're controlling the clock right now.
The play clock going all the way down to 1. That falls incomplete, thrown behind Butler. And now it's 3rd and 13, and Columbus, if they can get a stop here on this play, we'll get the ball back.
Yeah, that ball was thrown severely behind Butler there, and this is exactly what Columbus needed, you know, to try to get the ball back as quickly as they possibly can, get off the field. The pressure block has worked for them, trying to create a sped-up clock for Perez.
And remember now, just one timeout left as well for the Aviators.
Turbo, turbo! Ready to go!
Perez sticking up, Shakur Pearson, and they do get the stop, but there is a flag.
the play where a guy isn't in our backfield.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 48. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic, first down.
Kenny Willick is called for the 14th penalty tonight on Columbus.
Yeah, he's working on Rowland, the right tackler, Spencer Rowland. And so Kenny Willikis is trying to get into his pass rush. It's right on this side right here. And you can see his hand gets up into the face, and then he turns the face mask with a big grip of it right there, right in front of the official. That's what draws the penalty. 14 penalties.
Hey, stay here. Stay here.
Look at this. I mean, just about everything that has gone, that could go wrong for Columbus tonight has, and a lot of it's self-inflicted.
Yeah, now if you're St. Louis,
all right, go ahead.
now what you're doing, and Luis has done a nice job of this, Brock, is controlling the clock. Now, they haven't had a lot of success on this offensive series outside of defensive penalties, but you know, every time that clock is rolling, he's snapping it inside of 3 seconds.
Just all the little details, right? And you would hope in week 7, you know, and let's face it, Columbus and Coach Ginn's a first-year head coach, and there's a lot more new pieces on that sideline, but you would hope by week 7 some of the undisciplined nature of tonight would dissipate, especially with what was on the line, so much on the line with their playoff odds.
So, if you're wondering, you know, like, well, will St. Louis throw the ball? There's Dick Vermeil watching the end of this game. If you would throw the ball outside of 2 minutes, even on an incompletion, the game clock would still start after the play clock goes to 30. So you don't have to just run it. Obviously, you know, it's favorable, but, you know, the clock rules are a little bit different here in the UFL.
What do you think Dick Vermeil thinks of 14 penalties?
I can't imagine he would be all that happy with it. I don't know. What do you think, Kurt?
No, would he be nice about it?
He would.
He would be nice about it.
Go.
I'm sure he's happy that St. Louis is knocking on the door of another victory tonight to try and go to 5-2 on the night that he and that St. Louis Rams team from '99 were honored. That's out of bounds, obviously. So it'll be 4th down now.
And they have to go for it outside of 2 minutes and across the 50. But again, even on an incompletion like that, outside of 2 minutes, the game clock starts once the play clock hits 30. So that's why you see the game clock still moving right now. But now on 4th and 9, you got to take this all the way down. I would think about taking it all the way down, taking a timeout, trying to figure out what your best play call is in this situation.
Yeah, use every second you can. And they'll do just that, calling a timeout as it gets to 1 second on the play clock. 2:43 on the game clock.
St. Louis. They're second and a half.
Well, we talked about how good this team has been at home. Over the last 3 seasons, 12-1 in the regular season. They average more than 30,000 a game, average scoring margin plus 8 points. Their only regular season home loss, in fact, was last year to the champion DC Defenders, who they beat in week 1, and right now they have the 2 best records in the UFL, so it could be a rematch in the postseason. In St. Louis, as we said earlier, 3 of their final 4 games at home. Tonight, looks like they're going to beat a 2-4 Columbus team, and the next 2 games are against 2-4 Houston, home and home.
Yeah, they've certainly got the schedule advantage right now. They've got Houston at home, then they travel to Houston. Obviously, Houston has struggled a little bit. We'll see them later this weekend, and then they finish the season right here in St. Louis against Dallas. Dallas is a team that's started off really hot. A lot of us I thought that they were going to compete for the top spot in the league, but they have cooled off tremendously. They're just 3-3, and that's going to be on May 29th here in St. Louis.
16. Okay.
Well, clearly right now, through this first game of week 7, St. Louis and DC are playing much better than anybody else in the league, and St. Louis had kind of struggled at the quarterback spot. This is their 3rd starting quarterback of the year, but it seems as though it's kind of settled the team down offensively. And they've taken advantage of just about every scoring opportunity they've had, which has not been the case all season long, despite the 4-2 record.
Well, just throwing it away on 4th down.
You're looking right at it.
Got to give somebody a chance on 4th down, but Columbus gets the ball back. Okay, so 2:39, 1 timeout left. We got the 2-minute warning still to go. Columbus has to score quickly, then they would have the opportunity to go for a 4th and 12. So they do still have a chance. Everything that has taken place, you've got to put that out of your mind. You know, if you're Ted Ginn, if you're Jalen McClendon right now, you go up to your team. If you're Todd Haley, you say, okay, put the 14 penalties behind us here. We got 2:39. We got to go down and get a score here with about a minute and a half left, maybe a minute 15. Then we execute on 4th and 12, and then we're going to give ourselves a chance.
And a 2-point conversion in between. Here we go. McClendon, pressure. Picks up 1 yard, fighting his way. Jordan Williams gets the tackle. Get to 5-2 with their 5th win tonight. If they can hang on here in the final 2 minutes of the game, they've pretty much controlled from the start. McClendon, incomplete. That's intended for Juice Wells.
Good coverage by Michael Ojemudia on the outside. Played his college ball at Iowa. He was with DC last year, so he knows what it's like to win a title, and that was tremendous coverage there on the outside, knocking that ball away.
Black F. Nacho. All right, Monday, ready?
Looking to get it across the 46. Thrown too high for Wells, and they'll turn it over on downs. So nothing doing for Columbus when they got the ball back. And St. Louis will now try to run out the clock here.
It was always going to be a tough task. This is the best defense in the UFL, best total defense in the UFL. They're second against the pass, best rushing defense in the league. They're second and third down. They get after the quarterback. This has been a tough night for the Aviators. Certainly some self-inflicted wounds, there's no doubt, in particular with the penalties. But it was going to be a tall task. And this St. Louis defense has played well. You can see even Corey Chamberlain, Brock on the sideline, still coaching.
No, listen.
Even though they're going to get this win.
If one of y'all don't go, then we ain't getting no pressure. Or
coaching to the end, right, huh? Here we go.
Hunt.
Howard, as expected. 8 yards, and the clock keeps running. So St. Louis this close to going to 5-2. And as we mentioned, back-to-back games with the Houston Gamblers, who are 2-4 right now, over the next 2 weeks, and then they wrap up the home game against Dallas. And we'll find out if they need that for playoff position.
And Ricky Brohl knows how important it is to get this team a home game in the playoffs. And this is certainly a great home field advantage, and he's got to feel good about what Luis Perez was able to get him. And he made the one mistake, and certainly he could play a little bit better, you know, at times here and there, but he's only going to get more comfortable and more familiar with this offense and block and defy that position. The rest of this team is very solid.
Half was about as clean as you could play, right, until the end of half mechanics, especially Luis. I mean, he got the ball out. He was accurate. I think playing with a lead just kind of took the foot off the gas a little bit. The precision was a little more off in the second half. And then he wanted things to clean up to get ready for the home stretch.
And they've got an extra day of work or practice, if you will, next week. They don't play until Saturday. So playing here on Friday night will help as well as they will get the win and go to 5-2 in Ricky Prohl's first season as the head coach. One more snap and it'll be official. And what a job he has done. We talked about position coach for a long time in the National Football League and getting an opportunity in the city where he won his first Super Bowl, first of 2. He won one with the Colts later on in Peyton Manning.
Ready to go.
Good job, Kyle.
And Luis Perez in his first start with St. Louis gets the victory.
It's got to feel good. Keeping pace with the defender.